So it's been kind of a handful of weeks since I last posted a band that was completely unlistenable. This time we have a project that is really well known in the underground black metal genre and in terms of black metal noise and also dark ambient. Is it listenable? I don't know. And the band that I'm going to be talking about is the one and only Emit. Now, if you don't know who, and what Emit is, it is pretty much a black metal and dark ambient project that was formed back in the late 90s. They were from United Kingdom. When I discovered Emit over here, it was through a Wyatt XM video titled The Black Metal Iceberg Chart. And Emit was the final subcategory in that video. And to my extent, I was kind of curious to see what Emit had to offer for me. And lo and behold, I was kind of shunned with one particular release, The Dark Bleeding, which was an EP that was released back in 2003. And it started to become a cult classic in the noise and black metal genre as a whole. And I'm also out of nowhere. Apparently, a couple days ago, apparently this release right here has apparently got onto Spotify and YouTube Music, like just out of completely nowhere, like which I was surprised. So I decided to sit down and take a full glance and full listen on The Dark Bleeding itself. And, well, damn, I'm kind of impressed. So let's go into the basics first. Overall production is lo-fi, it is raw, it is very dark, rough around the edges, but it gives off kind of like that creepy and nerve-wracking, uncanny aspect feel for the listener. Even like with the cover over here, it's just pure black, red, dreary. It's full of despair. Like the person behind it is just like expressing their instrumentation of how they play, the way they write the songs, and the way they just want to play. It's just so dreary and just so obnoxiously, I don't know, what was the one word? It's just so dreadfully creepy and horrifying. And there's only 4 songs in here, and it goes for about at least 25 minutes. Starting off with the first song, which of course, the pain of bleeding. It is full of noise, and the vocalist is pretty much giving this raspy screams. And like, keep in mind those riffs, if you want to call them, like they're just playing like improvisational notes of some sort, just so just full of despair. And it's just like, really, like, damn, like, are these guys okay? Like, what else do they have to offer? Which leads us to the next song of the album, Dead Before Death. Pretty much the same thing, but this track goes for about 8 minutes. Really kind of like has a mixture of black metal and dark ambient parts here and there, but I get kind of like a little bit bored in the middle half. I mean, yes, I think the listener itself can be bored at this point because what they're listening is just pretty much and it's like, okay, well, I mean, if you listen to the stuff, great. I don't care. You're just straight up weird. But I will say probably the most interesting song on here that I find quite intriguing is actually the song Communications with Shadows, which is kind of like reminds me of like horror music that you might hear like in any horror film, or at least in my mind, every 90s horror film ever to exist. I don't know, like it's just giving me like that cold nerve feeling that like something is about to happen to me. Like there might be like a scream that pop up out of nowhere, or maybe, I don't know, there might be like these melodies that are uncanny that might tickle me. It's very creepy. And also, like, you gotta listen to this like EP with like headphones, because like depending on like the atmosphere, like that the production gives off on this is really dreary and so dark and thick, and it's blistering sonic masses of just darkness that is surrounding the listener, and it is very haunting. And then we get to the final song, which is the longest one, which goes for about 10 minutes and is titled Unknown One Greets Me Again. And it's pretty much the same thing with the first two songs on this EP. Like I said before, it's a mixture of dark ambient and black metal, but it's just like, it just keeps you going. Like, it keeps you thriving. It keeps you just going through this tunnel of just horror and just how, like, far we can go. And, like, it's really interesting. And that is The Dark Bleeding. And honestly, I'm actually really digging it. I mean, there are some parts, like, during the Dead Before Death song, which I kind of find a little intriguing. Mostly the screams. It's just pretty much improv screams. And yeah, also spoiler alert, this is literally just improv for what I'm assuming. But yeah, Emit, go check it out. And for a grade on this, yeah, honestly, I think this is kind of like a great definition of music for background music in terms of Halloween music and also horror music. And that's why I'm feeling for a grade on this pretty much a 7 out of 10. I'm really digging this. Honestly, probably one of my favorite songs on here is pretty much The Pain and Bleeding and The Communications with Shadows. And Unknown One Greets Me Again is decent. Is Emit listenable? Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it is listenable. Yeah, Emit, get out of here. Yeah, if you wanna go check this out, if you really dig the dark ambient, black metal, lo-fi noise, underground, despair, sonic masses of darkness type vibes, give Emit a listen. I know they're pretty much started to become more popular since Wyatt XM posted explaining Emit, as well as that black metal iceberg chart. And with the amount of traffic, I'm pretty impressed of how much attention this EP had got. But yeah, Emit is listenable. Cheers.